After going back, just having time to digest yesterday's game, just what were kind of your biggest takeaways of the way you guys were able to turn that game around in the third quarter?
Um, Honestly, I think this year, like, it's hard for me to speak on the beginning, just like I've never missed that many games, but from the outside looking in, we almost got a little comfortable in a way of like where you're just beating teams and expecting to win. And we didn't have, I would say, enough humility or like humbleness about going about how we were winning the games. So when you go into games and every team expects to win, I don't think we were going about that process the right way the last couple games. So yesterday was really good just in the sense of things aren't going right. How can we get back to our identity and kind of bottle that down? And I think we did a really good job like getting back to who we were, getting stops. When there's an inconvenience in the game, where we've been really good at throughout my years here is just not focusing on that and like sticking to our principles. And then if a team beats us while we're doing that, you just tip your hat, and we were able to kind of chip away.
One guy who gave you guys a huge lift was Kenrich. I just wanted to get your perspective on his night. I mean, that's the most points he scored since, I think, 2021, season high for him.
How much do you have? Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, that's dope. His job is so hard, man. Like he's my height. He plays a 5, plays a 4. He won't play some games. Won't play for weeks. Then he'll come in and do what he did yesterday. Just a pro's pro for sure. He gives us a lot of boosts, like whether he's in the game or not. So he's a really special player, somebody we don't take for granted. He means a lot to this team, lots of organization. So for him to have those big moments is dope. Nothing I'm shocked about. I mean, he's in here. You guys see him right now. He's in here shooting again. And just being a good dude, I think basketball rewards you with that when you're a good person and you put the work in. And yeah, he's just been great for us ever since I've been here, and will continue to be that. So
You and him spent time at the 5 yesterday. Just what's that like for you guys in those spots there?
it's probably why we're getting out rebounded. It's cool though. Like it just adds another skill to our trade of like learning how to guard fives. I think the biggest thing is like communication for us. You know, when you're at the 5, you usually switch a lot, or you're doing a lot of things you don't normally do from a guard standpoint that we both had to learn and that we both gotten really good at. And when you're on the court with Kay, like it's just a different intensity level that he brings to the game, a different physicality level that he brings. So it makes you play more physical. And I've learned a lot of that from Kay and just like his mentality, whether he's playing or not.
What have you seen out of Brandon Carlson these past 2 games as well, especially with like far down, Jay Will out as well?
He's been special. I think that's the cool thing about our team. Like, even though we've had like injuries and just all kinds of stuff throughout the years, like we do a really good job of having guys ready to like go and play. And when they're not playing, be ready to just randomly come in and play 30 minutes a game. Like it just speaks to high groove. BC's been great. A lot's getting thrown at him. It's not like he's on a team that's like losing. You know, you're playing on one of the best teams in the NBA, defending champs, and you're getting everybody's best shot. So for him to come plug in, for guys like Chet and Hart, who are like mean a ton to our team, and for him to kind of do that seamlessly is really impressive. So proud of BC for that. He continue to be that for us. And yeah, he's just cherishing the opportunity. Like these guys want to play really bad, and we have a deep roster where guys can go play anywhere. So it makes a lot of sacrifices and did a lot of good things for us.
When you first came back this season after the injury, when you first came back, you talked about sort of the comfortability with your wrists and sort of adjusting and trying some different things in games. How has that sort of evolved, and how much more comfortable do you feel now?
I mean, it sucks. It's a very annoying process. You know, I like nobody's gonna be more frustrated than me, like when shots are short, when they're not, like. But it's just one of those things we gotta learn throughout the game. And like I said, it's not like we're on a bad team, you know, where I come jack 40 shots and figure it out that way. So just doing it in the game flow, not trying to force anything, just being patient with it. Again, this injury is not something where it's like you get it, have 2 hand surgeries, and then it's like, all right, you're like good to go. It's like something like over the course of a year and like a year and a half, and having like summers like really figure it out where it'll be like really back to normal. But it's just one of those things that like you just figure it out in the game, and I'll be able to be effective in the other ways and not focus on it. That's my biggest thing, is like there's so many more other things I can be doing to affect the game, and score and play defense. So I've kind of stopped caring about it. When it comes, and just continue to like go throughout my process with it.
Seems like the last few times you guys have played Miami, which coming up again tomorrow, there's been some sort of elevated hurdle for you all to get over, or you guys have come through in a kind of special way. Is there something about a matchup with that team and that organization that you need to be able to rise to the occasion against them?
They play defense like they play defense how we do. They're physical. They play hard. Everybody out there is prideful about defense, and that speaks a lot to that organization. Historically, you can see it too. Like, just that's how they play basketball. They're well coached, good organization, know who they're drafting. I mean, they're honestly similar to us. So they have guys that they went undrafted. They end up playing a ton of minutes and be really special for them. So it's actually really cool to like play against a team pretty similar in that way, and it'll force us to be a better team and like trust our process as well and go up and match what they're doing.
Chet's been getting some all-star buzz here recently with Cam votes. Like, what do you think his case will be as to like why he should make it?
Well, for the year 3? Third year in a row, we are the first team in the West. Chet has been at the helm of that with Shea. I mean, he's hooping. Like, do I have to watch the games thing again? I mean, he's having an excellent season. He's one of the main reasons we are where we are. Yeah, I mean, what did we start the season? 21 and reform 1. There you go. It don't just happen without him. So he's been really special for us, and he'll continue to do that. I mean, every year he's getting better and better. I think what makes it special too is he's not playing for that. Like, he's not playing for an all-star, not playing for his personal things. I think that's why he has the success that he's having. So do the right thing. That's my pitch.
Anybody else?
Nope.
Thanks.
Mark, as you go back and look at the final defensive play from last night, it just seemed like there's many little moments in that. What stands out to you about just maybe a coordinated effort that you guys had there to get that final stop?
Yeah, it was great play. Good floor balance. And it starts with the offense. And we ended up with a tough shot, which you often will when you're holding late into the clock in that part of the game. But we got good floor balance. We got guys back. We communicated the matchups. And once we got the matchup settled, I thought AJ and K. Rich did a great job of kind of fighting those catches to their two guys. It put Coward on an island with AC, and AC did a great job on him. And then Lou got the ball.
And I wanted to ask you just about Miami. It seems like kind of keeps coming up for you guys that over the last handful of times you've played them, there's been some sort of hurdle either externally or just with, the challenge that they present that's been like a really good development point for you all. Do you see that here again coming up tomorrow?
Yeah, that's a program we have a ton of respect for, and they're a privilege to compete against because of how much endurance they've had in the NBA about doing it a certain way. Their team is different every year, and the level of success is different every year as it is for every team. But the bar with that team is very high in terms of their competitiveness, in terms of the way that they play, in terms of their execution, the edge that they play with. And so it's a great team to test yourself against. I love when we play against them because it's a game that you have to earn. If you get it, if you don't, they'll teach you a lesson. But a team, coach, organization that we have great respect for.
You guys were able to settle in defensively and come out on top against teams like Atlanta, Utah, really fast-paced teams. What are some of those transferable keys heading into this matchup against Miami, which leads the league in pace?
Yeah, I mean, we've had a good little run of pace teams here, teams that try to play fast. And so it's simple, but difficult to do over 48 minutes. You got to have the discipline to balance the floor and get back and set your defense, and then get your chest on them. In this case, get your chest on them early because they're going to start the blender as soon as they can. They're a great pitch ahead team. Powell's a great shooter in transition, so you got to do that, and then you got to be able to catch those drives, which again it's a simple concept, but it's easier said than done.
Jado was talking the other day about winning the days in between and how important that is as opposed to, the game itself. Just What do you see out of Kenrich in the days between that allows him to have a night like he had yesterday?
I said this after the game. I was super happy for him because he is 100% of the time inside the team. He's always competing in his minutes, whatever they are. He's always grateful and embraces his role, whatever it happens to be at a point in time. He made a couple shots last night. I subbed him shortly after he made them for like rotational part. Had nothing to do with his performance. It was a plan, and you know, usually when guys make a couple shots and you sub them, it's not like you don't get hugs and kisses. And he runs off the floor, he daps everybody up, he goes sits at the end of the bench, gets himself ready for his next stretch, and he goes back in there and performs great. So I just think happy for him, and also it's great leadership for the team. We always talk about the leader's the person doing the right thing. He's a man of few words. He's simple. But he's so consistent, and he's such a great leader for us in all situations that when he can have his fingerprints on a game the way he did last night, it's great for him and it's great for the team.
Aaron's had back-to-back games now where he's had, I think, at least 7 rebounds. He has had a couple of big offensive boards in those games too. We know he's a pretty complete player, but that specific area of his game being around the rim, sniffing out those plays, just what have you made of those sort of situations?
Yeah, I mean, he had a huge run in the Utah game. This one of the plays of the game, and yeah, I mean, he's a good garbage man. He gets all those like random cuts and random leak outs or the rebounds. And I thought our rebounding in the stretch of those last 2 games was very good. We really came up with the ball when we needed to, and we were at size disadvantages in both games and found ways to get the ball. Kaysen was huge with that against Utah. Chet was huge with that against Utah. And then we got the ball last night again. So guys done a great job scrapping, and he's a huge part of that.
Talking to Doug, he mentioned with his injury that this is not something that just like flipped the switch, and once he came back, it was just 100%. I know you talked before about you can take as much time as he needs. Where have you seen him sort of grow the most since he came back to now?
I mean, it's just a circumstance that's less than ideal, and it's forcing him to work through that and plow through that, and give himself some grace. Put the work in day by day, even though the changes day to day may not be drastic, and then focus on the other things that he can do to impact the game outside of the things that require full range of motion in his right wrist. And the fortunate thing for him and for us is his versatility lends to that. He's not a one-dimensional player by any stretch. He's a multi-dimensional player. And last night was a great example of that. I thought, the game was rough for everybody early. We made multiple efforts to get back into it and fell short multiple times. And we just stuck with the game, and he was a huge part of that. He played with great force last night. He played great defense, especially down the stretch. He had the pass to K-Rich for the go-ahead play. It could have been easy for him to think he had to shoot that ball. Instead, he just makes the right play, even with 50 seconds left or whatever. So I thought it was a good little pop for him. But every circumstance is a challenge and an opportunity. Depends on how you look at it. It's his challenge right now to look at it like an opportunity. We're confident he will.
Anybody else? Thank you, Coach.